Hello there, how are you? Nice to be able to speak to you. And if you see me twitch or my head moves back and forward, then the reason for that is I've just come back from the hairdressers and I've still got hairs or some hairs stuck to my polo shirt. Today's story is all about my Auntie Nan. Nan was a printer by trade. She was one of 6 sisters and 4 brothers, and she was absolutely crazy in terms of theatre, variety, music, dance, you name it. This was her life outside the printing trade. One of the things that Nan one of the things that Nan had was her own dance school, and almost every young child in Portobello, the small suburb of Edinburgh where we lived, passed through Nan's hands in terms of learning to tap dance. She was world famous, if you could say that, for such a small area. And of course the highlight of Nan's year was the 3-night annual concert, which was given on a Thursday, Friday and culminating on the Saturday for the grand finale. The whole family were involved in this concert, a series of concerts, and my task, I was a multitasker, as they say nowadays, because I sold ice cream, I sold programs, I collected the tickets and I showed people to the seats. I was a part-time scene shifter and a part-time curtain mover. In addition to that, I was also the male deputy tap dancer. Now, all my tap dancing experience came from my 2 sisters, who were freebie pupils of my Auntie Nan, in return for sweeping up the floor and things like that after her Saturday morning dance classes. So they taught me all the basic tap dance steps, and that was that. Anyway, on one particular occasion, I was there selling my ice creams, front of house, all dressed up in a special uniform, which I think was made by some seamstress. It was all part of the corporate image. And Nan came dashing down the side corridor and she said, "Quick," she said, "Willie's gone sick." I said, "Willie?" I said, "Who's Willie?" She said, "He's the guy or the kid that's in the next number." She said, "You're on." I said, "What?" I said, "What number is it?" She said, "The sailor with the navy blue eyes." I said, God. Now, I don't know if anybody ever remembers this song, but it ended up with "Yo ho 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 ho," the sailor with the navy blue eyes, and that was my total extent of that particular song. So I was rushed stage left, up on the platform there, and busily being changed into this poor little Willie's costume for this event. Now, as male dancers, we were never allowed in with the female dancers. I think they were afraid that we were going to see their knickers, but that's another story. So there was me being changed by the dresser on the side of the stage behind the curtain. And then I was thrown into the middle of the stage, the curtains were pulled back, and all the rest of the girls came out dancing and singing and you name it. And as I said, because I didn't know the number, all I could do there was to sit. Fortunately, it was quite good, because all I really had to do was to look round at each and every individual girl and smile, and that was that. The number closed to great applause, and I said, gee whiz, thank you very much. Got whipped off the stage, off came the costume, on came the ice cream costume, and before I knew where I was busily selling ice creams again. So when people came round and asked for ice creams, they said, "Didn't we see you on stage?" I said, "No, not me." But Auntie Nan was full of ideas, and I think this most spectacular one she ever did, bearing in mind this was round about 1946, and I think perhaps she had seen a film or something with Busby Berkeley doing this kind of number. But what it was the girls were dressed in a sort of skeleton type costume, and phosphorus or fluorescent paint had been painted on to represent the bones. She also continued this down the legs and on the actual shoes, the tap shoes themselves. She then used an ultraviolet light to shine onto the costumes with great and dramatic effect. So that was the scene set. The curtains were drawn, the house lights were dimmed, the curtains were drawn back, and there was a great gasp of astonishment. And there was the 12 dancers in a skeleton form. The applause was tremendous. I just forget the actual number that was used to accompany the skeleton, but no doubt somebody may remember it. It would be a popular piece. This went down a bomb. Everybody enjoyed this thoroughly, and of course Nan's name, although she was famous within our own community, word spread of this spectacular performance in the Portobello Town Hall, and we only had a population of perhaps 10,000. But Hollywood's loss was in actual fact Portobello's gain, and she lived on this memory until next year's concert. And of course by that time she no doubt would have something more spectacular, because that was the name of the game. You couldn't rest on your laurels. You had to produce something bigger and better than last year's concert. Nice to be able to speak to you. I hope you enjoy the story. See you all later. Bye for now.